Hey guys, welcome to episode 20 of SMG Viewers Comments. I'm doing a full-length episode this week. My schedule's a little tight, so I don't really have time to edit down a bunch of little ones, but I just want to give you guys a quick update. Those of you guys who messaged me about Rule Number 2 shirts, those are now back in stock in the store and available now at spectremedia.ca/shop. I've also got stickers available as well. I sell these in packs of 3, 8, and 20. Shipping is included in those prices. I ship anywhere in the world for those. I got the Stop Copying the Mic Dumbass stickers. These will look great on your singer's floor wedges. 1, 2, 3, 4, the sticker's smarter than your drummer. You can put that on your drummer's bass drum or anywhere he can see. The only place I highly recommend, do not put this under his work boots. He'll never find them. And of course, I've got the Rule Number 2 sticker as well, suitable to put on your bass player's forehead. Moving on, I want to say thanks to everybody for all the anime suggestions. I think it's really cool that so many of you guys are into anime like I am. That's fucking awesome. I just finished prison school, so if you guys have any more suggestions, I will be happy to check that out. I think I'm just going to start to go through Gangsta next. We'll see where that goes. A bunch of you guys mentioned Detroit Metal City. Yes, I've seen that, and if you're into anime and metal and you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking that one out. That's freaking awesome.
Hi, Glenn and guys. If you had to choose between mic up a quiet attenuated amp, conversation levels, or using a cab simulator, Palmer PD-103, which would you prefer?
That's a real tough choice. I'm not sure what the Palmer sounds like, but if it sounds anything like the cab clone, avoid it like the plague. My buddy Shane McPhee over at Kazrog, he does Recabinet and some other stuff. Recabinet's a really cool guitar amp emulation program. He had a great point, and that is getting analog gear to sound like other analog gear is incredibly difficult. You're better off going with a digital back end. If you're looking to play an amp quietly, like conversation levels, you might want to look, say, at a 2 Notes Torpedo Live, which will let you plug your amp right into it, and you're just basically using a digital cab simulator, and it's a great big power attenuator as well, so you're not going to blow the doors off the neighbors or anything like that. It's a killer piece of gear. It's a little more money than, say, a Palmer or a cab clone, but it's well worth the money in my opinion. Check it out. I've got a review in my playlist you can take a look at as well. Just absolutely outstanding piece of equipment. That would be my recommendation anyway.
For the next Q&A, first, did you ever watch the Metallica movie Through the Never? And if so, how did it sound to you? Kind of like the quality of mixing and stuff. Second, what are your thoughts and comments on Mustaine being an asshole to his ex-guitar tech? Salutes from Chile.
Yeah, Through the Never was pretty interesting. It was one of those things I started watching on Netflix, paused it, never quite got around to finishing, but yeah, the mixes were cool. The imagery was pretty cool as well. There's not a lot to like, because I guess, Lars didn't talk. Oh, I'm fucking horrible. About the Mustaine thing, though, I might yell and scream a lot, but I would never do that to somebody I hired. I think that's pretty fucking low. That's like the Henry Ford method of hiring people. Henry Ford, everybody's thought this was this great genius and whatnot, but in truth, he used to hire goons to beat the shit out of union organizers, people who demanded better working conditions and whatnot. Dave Mustaine should be fucking ashamed of himself for yelling like that. That's just so unprofessional. Maybe he should grow up a little bit in that respect. I mean, as an employee, I would never tolerate that from an employer. Not for a fucking heartbeat. Oh, and for those of you guys, but you yell at bass players all the time. Yes, I'm yelling at bass players as a whole, not as an individual. All right, just want to take a minute here and talk about my sponsor for this video, DistroKid. Because a lot of you guys have asked me, hey, how do I get my music heard? That sort of thing. If you're writing music, if you're recording and whatnot, you want to get your stuff out there, you want to get it on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and all these other digital music platforms. If you go on DistroKid for the cost of $20 for the entire year, they will get your stuff up onto places like iTunes in a matter of hours and not days or weeks. The really cool thing is they'll also do the heavy lifting when it comes to getting licenses for cover songs. So for me, I'm planning on doing a bunch of anime covers later this year with the Fiddlin' Bens and doing some videos and that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to be able to put those up on iTunes and actually make money with that. Now, if you guys click the link in the description below, that will also get you a 10% discount up until November 30th. It sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Like I said, I'm going to sign up for it myself. So check out the link below, DistroKid. And next question.
Fuck you, Glenn. You play 1,000+ amps. Then why the fuck are you reviewing a $99 amp? Of course it will sound shit to you.
Au contraire, mon frère. I actually am the proud owner of a PV Windsor, an amp I paid $200 for, brand new in the shop. $200 Chinese-made tube amp, and it sounds like this. It's an absolutely killer piece of gear if you're doing like swampy, stoner rock kind of stuff. One thing I want to do is I want to take a look at a lot of cheaper amps and just see what sounds great, what works really good for the really heavy tones. One really cool thing I had happen in the last week, I was talking to my very good friends over at Tecumseh Music Center, not too very far from here, and basically they're going to give me the run of their store, and basically anything I want to review, I can borrow it for a couple days. So I'd like to thank Chris and Joel Mayville, the owners of Tecumseh Music Center, for that. That's going to be really cool because I'm going to be able to do a lot more Fearless gear reviews that way. Basically, I'm going to be able to give it to you guys absolutely straight. Those guys are a PV dealership, so hopefully I'm going to be able to check out the Viper. There's also the Roland Cube. I'm going to take a look at that, and I'm going to take a look at there's a Vox modeling amp as well. There's a whole bunch of other shit that they've got that's going to be really cool, but I want to take a look at some of the cheaper guitars and the cheaper amps and just try and find for you guys what the best bang for the buck will be, because nobody wants to spend more money than they have to. So, no, I am not an amp snob at all. I think there is a lot of value to be had in some of the less expensive things. Again, the PV Windsor is a shining example of an amp that doesn't cost a lot of money that just fucking kicks total ass. So there you go.
Review of the Marshall valve state down the pipeline?
Finding a valve state is going to be kind of tricky because I don't think they make those anymore, but I will tell you this. I played in a band where the other guitar player had a valve state and it had a pretty rock solid tone. I'm not sure how it was for recording, but on stage it was absolutely fine. I think Chuck Schuldiner actually used to play a valve state in Death way back in the day for live. Anyway, I'm not sure what he used in the studio, but I do remember a buddy of mine telling me he went to a Death show and he distinctly remembers seeing Schuldiner playing a valve state. So if it was good enough for Chuck, I'm imagining it's a pretty decent amp.
I'm 17, still at school, and work part-time at events for a bit of cash. Is there a chance you can do a video on decent cheap guitars?
That is what I want to do. I want to start evaluating some of the cheaper guitars and see what's really good for how much money. The other question being is, and I want to ask you guys is, what do you define as a cheap guitar? Because for me, that's under like $1,000, but what do you guys define as cheap? Is like $200, $300, $400? Please leave a comment in the feedback section and let me know this, because I am going to be talking with some of the manufacturers and get them to send me a few things, and I am going to try asking for some of their lower end stuff just so I can evaluate what I think is decent, what I wouldn't mind going on stage with or whatnot. I mean, my 7-string Ibanez I paid $300 for, and the thing fucking totally kicks ass. I was shocked by just how high quality that guitar was. And I imagine, with a lot of the stuff coming out of Southeast Asia, there's going to be a lot of really cool guitars coming out for not too much money. We'll see time will tell what happens, but I hope to have some review models in very soon. Stay tuned for that.
Stickers! Who doesn't love stickers? I'm getting me some. Glenn, what's the chances of getting just your company logo as a sticker? I think that'd make for a badass set of 4. Cheers!
About the sticker thing. One thing I haven't really advertised, but I'm sure anybody who's bought a shirt from me will tell you, is that actually I have a company logo sticker that I don't sell individually. I've actually been throwing these in with each t-shirt order. So if you want to grab one of these, buy a shirt.
What happened to This Week in Metal? I know it's on the Metal Sucks channel, but I miss it. Oh well, keep up the great work, Glenn.
Well, here's what happened with the Week in Metal. When I started doing that, I was doing roughly 1 video a week on this channel and had about 35,000, 40,000 subscribers, maybe about 1.5 million views. Now I'm doing 3 to 4 videos a week on this channel, 10 million views and 110,000 subscribers. I have to make this channel a priority. Don't get me wrong, I love doing the Week in Metal, but it's a lot of work and it's really taking away from my time that I can put into my own channel. And the more I go along with this channel, the more it's starting to look like an actual career. So while, I enjoyed telling San Diego to go fuck themselves every week, and believe me, that was so much fun. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have the time to do it. Metal Sucks is going to do an announcement in a couple weeks when they relaunch the show. I think Brian Storm's going to pick it up. Brian Storm's a friend of mine. He's really good on camera. Can't hold a microphone for shit, but he should do an outstanding job with it, so you guys can look forward to that. As soon as I get the news, I will let you know, but the Week of Metal will be coming back. Unfortunately, I won't be hosting it, but like I said, Storm should do a bang-up job on that, so I will let you guys know.
Trapped is playing my town this week. A bunch of my friends and I are dressing as Glenn to see if they really will take on anyone.
Okay, yeah, that was awesome.
I'm sure you've been asked already, but I'm dumb. Are those events behind you? And if you don't mind, what interface or converter do you use?
Yes, those are event ASP8s. I've gotten the soffits behind me. I've had those for, I don't know, since about, 2007, I think I put those in. Yeah, great monitors, they translate really well. I don't really think I need anything more, to be honest with you. The room I'm working in is tuned very nicely for the monitors that I have. But as for an interface, I'm using an RME Fireface 800. I've had that for, I don't know, since about 2006 maybe a little earlier. It's just one of those pieces of gear that just sits there and works and you don't even worry about it. The routing options on it are outstanding. The converters are just killer. What more do you need? If you're PC based and you want rock solid drivers, get an RME. Sure, it's gonna be a few bucks, but it's one of those things that you're gonna work with it for 10 years and not even notice it's there. It's just that good.
Please don't just give away guitar stuff. Maybe some drum stuff?
Yes, I hope to be giving away some drum stuff. I'm talking with a couple of stick manufacturers and maybe we can do some accessories, possibly some cymbals. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned on that, but I definitely want to make sure we can give away drum stuff as well. Maybe we can also do some bass guitar stuff, like lessons.
Damn, wish I saw you. I live in Studio City by Universal.
Well, I will be coming back to California for NAMM in January, and I'll probably be in town the week before that. So if any of you guys are in the LA area and you want to go for lunch or something like that, shoot me a message. Yeah, I'll hang out. Absolutely. Show me your studios or whatnot. I'd love to see some of them.
Hi, Glenn. I really enjoy all the videos you've been uploading over the years. I was wondering, what does it take for a band to make it big? Apart from awesome music and great live performances, is there anything else that a band has to do to become famous? I know it is about music and not about being famous, but I see many amazing bands that do breathtaking performances not even being famous in the country they come from.
Oh, well, that's the real question, isn't it? If I knew the answer to that, I'd have a much bigger YouTube channel than I do right now. Don't get me wrong, I love you guys. But yeah, fame, what's the answer to that question in music anyway? Unfortunately, a lot of times great performances and great songs aren't enough. You need label backing. And to get a label to throw money at your project, they need to feel you have a product that they can sell. And that is the ugly truth about the music business. And that's why you see labels throwing millions of dollars at pop stars with absolutely no talent because it's an image they can sell. In metal, it's a little different, obviously, but the best you can do is do your absolute best every single time you get up on stage and hopefully generate a buzz. Give it everything you got every time you play. That's at the end of the day, that's all you can do. Good luck.